Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Winnie and I'll be doing a ton of DIYs and everything to do with decor. So if that's your area of interest, please subscribe to my channel, like, comment and share.
Was me showing the wall that I was going to be treating before painting. This wall had underlined issues with mold and moisture, and that's why the paint was chipping.
For the tools that you're going to be using today, we need a scraper to scrape off all the paint especially in the areas that have mold and moisture. And then we are going to fill it up with filler. I ought to have gotten a trowel, but I'm going to make do with what I have, and also a sandpaper to sand everything down. And then for the paint, we are going to be using brushes and a rolling pin, and you need a paint tray, but I forgot to buy one, so I'm going to be using this basin. And of course, you need your paint. You need your base coat, and also you need your paint.
First things first, I had to clear the room in preparation for the work that I was going to be doing. After clearing the room and leaving it in a workable state, I'm going in with a scraper and scraping off all the paint that was chipping.
I am making a paste using filler to patch up some holes on the walls.
It's the next day. So from my previous clip, you're going to see that yesterday I realized using a rolling pin will not have given me the results that I was looking for. So I'm going to be doing something called skimming using this trowel. So I'm just from the hardware store and I bought this one. You can get it from your local hardware store. So I'm supposed to be skimming that wall using this trowel, and I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to do it. And also another mistake that I did was making the mixture, the filler mixture, to be a little too thick. It's supposed to be, it was to be thin. I made it so thin and supposed to be thicker like yogurt. The consistency is supposed to be a little bit thin, so I'm going to be showing you that. I'm going in with a jug of water, and you always have to make sure that you're adding your joint compound to water and not the other way around. Do not add water to the joint compound. You add a little by little. As you mix, if you have a paint mixture, the better. But if you do not have, if you're a beginner like me, you just use a stick. Continue adding as you mix, and then you'd rather make small portions each time, and and make you would rather make several batches other than making a lot and wasting and having a lot of wastage. I'm just going to add a little bit more of my filler. As I continue mixing, I'm not using any exact measurements. I'm just eyeballing everything until I'm satisfied with the consistency that I want. And then you need to use a large container, like I'm using this basin, so that when you go with your trowel, it's going to be easy for you to scoop your paste. I'm going to add a little bit more because I want a very thick consistency. Not so thick, but it should be thicker than pancake batter. So the reason that I'm adding my joint the reason that I'm adding my filler to the water is to avoid these chunks, to avoid having a lot of chunks. So I continue mixing. This is what I should get. I should have such results, so that it's so easy for you to scoop and apply. To demonstrate, I'm just going to start with this little area here. And this is going to be difficult. When you scoop your mud, you apply going upwards, and then to spread it evenly, you move from your left to your right. Since I am right-handed, I'm moving from my left to my right, like so. Apply some more. And again, I move from left to right. Then I go up and down to smooth it off. By smoothing it down, you're avoiding debris. Again, I apply from bottom to up, then move from left to right, like so. As I wait for this filler to dry up, I'm going to be applying a base coat on that blue trim over there using this white base coat. Yeah, and it's a water-based undercoat. So I'm going to just add a little bit of water. And stir. The camera is a bit shaky because I'm holding it as I'm doing this. I let the first coat dry and I'm going in with the sandpaper before applying the second coat. You will notice that for my second coat, I am applying from bottom to up in a circular motion. A very huge mistake. I did not sand the wall properly because I thought it's going to even itself out during painting. The only solution now is to sand it down, which is now more difficult because it has a coat of paint. I'm so tired and I'm not even halfway done. I continued to sand for the entire night and I finished at around 6 am and now it's looking so much better. Later on I continued to paint and I painted a total of 4 coats and I'll tell you why. We've come to the end of the video, but before I show you the results, I just want to go over a few mistakes that I made and also give you a few tips that I picked up along the way and also tell you what I learned. Mistake number 1, tip number 1, having the right tools. You'll see from my video that there are some tools that I did not have. Number 2, prepping your space. By this I mean, if you don't want to spill paint over your floors, place a piece of cloth, place cardboards, place anything to avoid pouring paint on the floor, and also put tape over your door frames and also your windows to make sure that you're not getting the paint on them. And also, for if you have TV cables or Wi-Fi cables, remove them before you paint, because for me I painted over my cables, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to either you remove them or you place tape over them so that you don't get any paint on them. Using a base coat. I did not use a base coat because at the hardware I was told that the paint they sold me does not require for you to do a base coat, which is false. You have to first go in with your base coat first before applying paint, because if you do not do so, the first 1 or 2 coats you will apply will serve as your base coat. So you will end up doing a lot of coats of paint because you did not use a base coat, especially if the paint that was previously there was a different color from the one that you're applying, especially if it was darker than the one that you're applying, it's going to show. So you will end up doing like 2 extra coats of paint. Mistake number 4 was skimming. When you're using filler, you're supposed to use filler either on cracks or on holes.
you cannot use filler on a flat surface because, as the name suggests, you're filling up something. And if you're going to skim a wall, you're supposed to skim the entire wall. You're not supposed to skim patches. Just like you, when while doing plaster, you do plaster on an entire wall so that it comes out evenly. You're supposed to do the same while skimming. So that was a mistake on my part because I skimmed parts of the wall instead of the entire wall, which in the end you will see there's a which in the end you will see that it's not even. Mistake number 5: painting over a filler that I had not completely sanded down. I painted over filler that was not even because I thought it's going to even out during painting, which did not happen. Another tip is that during painting, ensure that your brush or your rolling pin is almost completely dry to avoid spilling paint and wasting. Also, if you're using a rolling pin, start from almost the bottom and work your way up so that after you're finished, you're going to finish up the bottom. That way you're not going to that way your paint will not be running and pouring on the floor. Also, while painting, go in one direction. If you decide to take your brush or rolling pin vertically, make sure that you're painting the entire wall vertically. And if you decide to go horizontally, do the same. If you mix directions, that one time you're painting vertically and the other time you're painting horizontally, it's going to show in your results. So take your brush in one direction. That way your work will even look neater and tidier. And then work section by section. By that I mean, if you start the area where you're going to place your rolling pin, first finish that section and then go to the next. That way your paint job will not seem as if it has layers. It's going to be a continuous job. What I've gathered afterwards: essentially, I had no business skimming that wall, not unless I was ready to skim the entire wall. So what I should have done instead was use a very quality base coat like cover mat, and I go in with 2 coats and also let the coats dry up. Before going in with another coat, ensure that you've given the first coat enough time to dry up before going in with another coat. That prevents the moisture from building up, and also ensure that the room that you're painting is properly ventilated. Open up the doors, open up the windows to ensure there is enough circulation of air. We've come to the end of the video. I almost forgot to make an outro, but thank you so much for watching my very first video. That's if you couldn't tell from how shaky my voice has been. But I hope you've learned a few things, just like I did. About the paint job, I'm about 70% content with the work that I did, to be honest. Do I think I would have done much better? I think I did, but I'm glad I learned a few things. I hope you also learned a few things, and I had so much fun creating it. But I'm now done with the boring part. I'm excited to make more fun videos. I'll be creating videos weekly and posting every Saturday. So make sure that you've turned on your post notifications so that you do not miss out on any video. And also subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment down below so that you aid in the growth of my channel. See you on the next one. No, see me on the next one. Bye. Peace. That is a great move, Mama.